Welcome. My name is Danielle and I'm so glad you're here. I am enjoying the morning today, being outside with a nice breeze, some birds, just the sounds of nature around me. And so kind of trying to keep it simple, trying to really be present in nature, I thought I would practice some yoga as well, keeping it simple, keeping it straightforward. We're just going to do a nice, well-rounded Vinyasa class today. A couple of sun salutations to just wake up the body, get into our postures, then adding in a couple more classic postures just to get all the core muscle groups stretched and woken up. Then winding down with a nice pigeon pose stretch at the end, and yeah, calling it a day. So there's nothing too surprising, nothing too complicated. Hopefully this will give you a chance to be able to be present, maybe have a moment of silence, of moving meditation throughout your day. So grab a block if you'd like to use it for your hands to bring the earth closer, maybe a strap if you would like to do a quad stretch towards the end for our pigeon pose. Otherwise, maybe put on some music, maybe come outside in nature with me and just enjoy the sounds, and we will meet on our mats in child's pose. So we're going to start here in child's pose. And keep your knees together to support the low back. I like to spread my knees a little bit wider to get into my hips, but either option. We're going to take in our hands, walking them forward, starting to surrender the heart, surrender the head down. Maybe that forehead is pressing in, maybe rolling the head side to side, just kind of getting into your neck, just getting that forehead a little massage. Maybe wiggle walking the hands a little bit more forward, pressing into the earth, really feeling your shoulders activate. Just a couple of deep breaths here at the beginning. Maybe closing the eyes, maybe a soft gaze at the tip of the nose. And just doing a little body scan, noticing what you're feeling. Where are you tight? Where are you holding tension? And just making a commitment to yourself at the beginning to just try to let something go and just be present in these poses. This time on your mat is yours. That's 100% yours. So everything that I offer is merely a suggestion. Your only job is to listen to your body and move how your body is calling you to move. So right now at the beginning, let's just take a moment in silence to notice, what is your body asking of you today? So whatever you're noticing, let's keep that in mind as we're moving through our postures. And let's seal that focus in with one good intentional breath together. So inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And then let's start to move. So let's wiggle walk those fingers forward as much as you can. Get a nice long spine. Then on your next exhale, hands are walking over to the right. Hip is sinking back to the back left corner of your mat. Maybe your hands stay side by side. Maybe placing the left hand on top. Maybe interlocking and pulling between the fingers to really activate that left shoulder. Deep breaths into those left ribs as we're sinking our hips back, finding length in the whole left side of the body. And release. Walking your hands back through center, nice long spine. And on your next exhale, hands are walking over to the left. Hips are sinking to the back. And again, maybe the hands are side by side and that's enough. Maybe the right hand comes on top. Maybe interlocking between the fingers and pulling, really feeling that right shoulder activates. Maybe wiggling those left fingers forward just a little bit more. Really get that equal and opposite action. Stretching and pulling and breathing into your right ribs. And softening in here at the end. And release. Walking your hands back through center, stretching out long, reset that spine. And then coming up into tabletop. So wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Either option, those inner elbows are shining forward. And on your next inhale, we're dropping the belly, pulling the heart through for cow. And on your exhale, rounding back, pressing into the fingers into cat. Then inhale, dropping the belly, leading with your heart for cow. And then exhale, rounding back for cat. And starting to move with your breath here for a few rounds. Every exhale, rounding a little bit deeper, tucking the chin, can push the earth away. And then every inhale, really dropping that belly, navel to spine. Can we get some stretch and length along the front line? Maybe closing the eyes for a couple of rounds. This is nice, simple movements. We know what's coming. So taking the gaze away helps bring that focus inwards, just helping you notice. All right, let's do one more round, dropping the belly for cow. One more round, rounding back for cat. And then coming back to neutral, a nice long spine. We're going to walk our hands forward, just a handprint, then tucking the toes, lifting our hips, going back into our first downward dog of the day. So it's our first one of the day for me, at least of the class for you. So taking a moment to just feeling it out, maybe walking your dog, bending into one knee or the other, maybe doing a little wiggle, just kind of feeling it out and helping reorient yourself in space with that head now below the heart. And then when you're feeling good and wiggled out, starting to come to a moment or two of stillness. So really building our foundation of the pose. So taking our hands, we're pressing into the knuckles, into the fingers, pressing the earth away, shining our inner elbows forward, pressing the shoulders away from the ears, and really imagining that length in the spine as we're leading the heart back towards the thighs. There can be a gentle bend in the knees, just as much as we can to find that length in the spine. And then maybe starting to straighten the legs a bit, drawing the heels down. The heels probably won't touch. They don't for me most days, and that's okay. And then we have that good, strong down dog. Let's take one good, intentional, deep breath together. Inhale fully. Exhale, sigh it out. Then bend our knees, look to the top of our mats, and pushing into our hands the whole time. We're tippy toe forward, coming into our first forward fold. So a little ragdoll here, hips, our heels or hips width apart. Your hands can stay on the earth, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe taking those hands on an interlock behind the neck. Whatever option is calling to you, take it. This is your time to play, your time for your body to get what it needs. Maybe taking a few moments to sway side to side. Just feel that stretch as it moves across the low back. Maybe a gentle tucking of the chin, maybe bobbing forward and back, rolling some weight into the balls of the feet. Really feel a stretch along the whole back line. Then release any bind that you have. On your inhale, round it up, roll it up. Chin comes up last. Arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Taking a moment here in stillness, closing the eyes, coming back to that breath. And noticing what you're feeling before we get into a little bit more dynamic movement. All right, on your next inhale, arms up, interlock grip, release your index fingers, and on your exhale, hips to the left, arms up and over to the right. Just a breath here. Then inhale back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. Holding for a breath, half moon shape. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus, the arms leading with the heart. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift with flat back. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Then shift forward, lower down, knees, chest, then chin. And then inhale, pull the heart through for cobra. Exhale, lower down. Push yourself back into child's pose. Then lift the hips for downward facing dog. So that is our gentlest vinyasa, our gentlest flow to down dog. That is always an option. You're always free to take it, or you can start to add on a little intensity round by round with us. All right, on your next inhale, bend the knees, look forward, tippy toe to the front of the mat for our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Pausing for a moment, coming back to that breath. And then we'll do it again. Inhale, arms up, interlock grip, release the index fingers. And exhale, hips to the left, arms to the right. Holding for a breath, that half moon shape. Inhale back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms to the left. Soft jaw, soft gaze. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, draw the shoulder blades down and back. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Shifting forward, lower the knees, then lower all the way down to the earth. Untuck the toes, inhale, pull the heart through for cobra. And exhale, lower down, retuck those toes, push yourself up in through tabletop, then lift the hips to downward facing dog. And a little bit more intensity that round. We'll add on one more time from here. So on your next inhale, bend the knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to that breath just for a moment. Recommit to why you are here. All right, one more time. Inhale, arms up, interlock grip. Exhale, hips to the left, arms to the right. We're not gripping with the toes. The weight is in the heels. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms to the left. We are pulling with the arms as we're pushing with the hips. Soft gaze, soft jaw. And inhale, back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, leading with the heart. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Strong back leads you up. And then exhale, folding in. Plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Knees raised or lowered. Shift forward, going into chaturanga. Then inhale, pull the heart through for cobra or up dog. Then exhale, lift the hips. Make your way to downward facing dog. Resetting for a breath. Then inhales, look forward. Hop, step, or jump to our fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up. Arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to our breath. Breath by breath, being present in this moment. And recommitting to be fully present in the next round of poses to come. All right, your next inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. So you can keep your hands up, pinky spiraling in, or maybe bringing your hands to heart center, lifting the collarbones, the sternum. Either option, the weight is in the heels. We're sinking the hips back, cow's breath in the spine as we're arching up, maybe lifting our gaze. And then exhale, lower down, lift those hips. Inhale, halfway lift, leading with the heart. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, right foot steps back. Then we drop the knees, untuck the toes. Inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent low lunge. So feeling it out for a couple of breaths. That left heel is driving down, then sliding the hip back. Right hip is angled down, feeling the stretch in those hip flexors. Woo. Shoulders are over your hips. We're trying to lift up through the spine. Pinkies are spiraling in. Shoulder blades are drawing down. Can we sink those hips a little bit more as we lift up? And then exhale, plant the hands down, framing that left foot. Then start to drive down through that left heel, pushing the hips back into our half splits. So we're looking for length in the spine, imagining leading with the heart, then starting to hinge forward, stopping when you feel that tension. Your left foot is flexed, it is active, keeping the joint safe. You can have your hands by the foot to pull the heart forward. I sometimes like to take the hands behind me to push the heart forward. Just different actions depending on the day. One might feel better. And maybe starting to close your eyes for just a few breaths. Maybe wiggling the hips a bit, just feeling the stretch as it moves through the back line of the legs. All right, then start to shift forward, rebending that left foot. Plant the hands, framing the foot. Tuck the back toes, pick up that back knee. Left foot steps back and make your way to downward dog. And know that the vinyasas are always an option, never an obligation. You're always welcome to go right to down dog or taking child's pose, getting a little rest. But from down dog, settling in on your next inhale, we're lifting the right leg. On the exhale, bending the knee, drawing it in through center, then stepping the right foot through, dropping the back knee, dropping the back toes. Inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent lunge on the other side. So same shape, same activations. Right hip is sliding back, left hip is angling down. We're pressing equally into both sides of the foot, really trying to keep that knee safe. Shoulders are over your hips. Can we lift up as we're lifting up through the arms, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. A long line of energy shooting up through the crown of the head. Can we sink those hips a little bit more as we lift that chest a little bit higher? Then release. Plant the hands down, framing that right foot. On your exhale, driving through the right heel to sink those hips back. Leading with the heart, trying to find a length in the spine, and then hinging at the hips. Softening the jaw, maybe surrendering the head. Breathing space into our back line. Maybe staying with stillness, maybe adding a little bit of movement, just changing the stretch, the sensation. Doing whatever you need to do to find some stillness and find some space for your body to just be. All right, so as you're feeling ready, start to rebend that right foot, framing the right foot. Tuck your left toes, pick up that left knee, and then on your inhale, step forward, and exhale, fold at the top of our mats. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to that breath. Closing the eyes, maybe taking note, what are we feeling today? And committing to being fully present in this next round. All right, on your next inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. We're sinking the hips back, maybe wiggling the toes. We're not gripping the mat. Can we sit a little bit higher? Then on your exhale, we're going to flip the palms, start to drive the arms back, going into a little skier squat. We're really strong, active arms lifting back as we lift the chest up. And then on your exhale, flip the palms, bringing the arms back forward into our chair pose. And then exhale, sit down, going into our skier squat. Inhale, lifting the arms, maybe lifting the heels. And then exhale, driving back down into our skier squat. Let's do a couple of rounds here, moving with your breath. Inhales, lifting the heels a little higher. Exhales, sinking the hips down a little lower. Can we have nice, slow, controlled movements as we're working on that ankle strength, that balance, that core work. Your navel is to your spine, strong, strong core. Let's do one more inhale, and then exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands sliding up your shins. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, left foot steps back. Keep that left knee lifted, setting up for our crescent roots. And on your inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent high lunge. So the same shape, same activations, just a little bit more dynamic. If you need to drop your back knee, you are welcome to it. Maybe a balanced strength challenge. You could transition through the two, going high and low, moving with your breath, or finding static stillness, driving the right hip back, pushing the left hip down. Maybe a little bend in your back leg so you're not locking out that back leg. It's working. Pinkies are spiraling in, lifting the chest up as we sink those hips a little bit lower. Can we soften in here at the end? On your next inhale, we're going to windmill open into warrior two. So looking for our warrior two roots, heel to arch alignment in the feet. Maybe a little bit of an angle on the back, the knife edge side of that back foot. Right knee is going over your right heel, not past it. Stretching east to west. Shoulders are over your hips. Drawing the shoulder blades down and back. Gaze is at the top of your mat, your fingertips. Can we soften in and sinking our hips a little bit lower, but really leading with the heart. We want our hips under our shoulders, not reaching forward. Navel to spine. Softening in for one more breath. Then on our next inhale, we're going to flip the right palm, reaching forward and then going back, going into our reverse warrior. Looking for a stretch on the whole right side of the body. So we're reaching up and then over. Left hand is on your leg just for support. So if you were to hover, you shouldn't lose too much height. You can also go for a little bind behind the back, maybe grabbing your hip, just finding what's calling to you and committing. And then the higher you lift your gaze, the harder the balance. So can we lift and reach for one more breath? And then inhale, coming back up. Arms are stretching east to west, straightening your right leg, shifting the hips, a little bit of an angle, stretching forward as much as we can before we start to drop that right arm down. Maybe coming to your shin. Maybe this is where you have a block. Maybe coming your hand to the inside of the foot or the outside. All beautiful options, but we're really focusing on length on the whole left side of the body. Your left hand is spiraling in and up. Your arm is working, it is active, and your right arm is just there for support. So if you were to hover it, you shouldn't lose too much height. And breathing space, really sinking those hips back and feeling that stretch, kind of looking for a stretch on the inner thigh. And softening in here at the end. And release. Windmill the hands down, pick up that back heel. Right foot steps back and flow your way to downward dog. Settling in here just for a breath or two. All right, so on your next inhale, left leg raises, then bending the knee, drawing it in through center. Right, the left foot comes through the hands, back knee stays raised. And on your inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent high lunge on the other side. So again, left hip driving back, right hip pushing down, making sure that back leg isn't locked out. Really driving down in your left heel. We're not gripping with the toes. We're trying to get our shoulders over our hips, maybe tucking that tailbone down, nice and neutral hips. Reaching the arms up, then drawing the shoulder blades down and back. Shoulders away from the ears. And when you have all that, just settling in here for a few breaths. We're really trying to feel the stretch on that right hip flexor. Maybe staying static, maybe working on strength to drop the knee, transitioning between high and low crescents, moving with your breath. Whatever movement is calling to you, let's take it. And then as you're ready, starting to windmill open into warrior two on the other side. So heel to arch alignment. That back foot is angling in just a little bit, pressing into the knife edge side of that back foot. Trying to work your knee directly over the heel, making sure the knee is not angled out or in. It is directly over. Ship shoulders under your hips. Stretching east to west, shoulders down and back. Look to the top of your mat. Gazes over the fingertips. And softening in. Maybe checking in, are both legs working equally? We tend to forget about that right leg, but it is working, it is helping. 50 and 50 effort in the legs. And as you're ready, flipping that left hand, reaching forward and then up and back. Finding space in the whole left side of the body. That right arm is just supporting wherever it is. Maybe sliding down the legs, maybe going behind the back, maybe going for a bind. But we're finding some depth as we're lifting up, breathing into that left rib. Maybe raising the gaze, looking high as we sink those hips a little lower. We're looking for that shake, that quake. That is when strength is built. All right, on your next inhale, coming back through, stretching east to west, stretching forward, straightening that left leg, then reaching forward as much as you can before you start to drop the left hand down, reaching the right hand up. Maybe the hand's on your shin, maybe it's on a block, maybe it's on the earth, maybe it's different from side to side. That's okay. We tend to not be perfectly balanced, no matter how fit we are. So there's no judgment. We are driving that right hip back, really trying to find that space along the whole right side of the body. Draw the shoulder blade down and back. Maybe a gentle rotation in the spine as we're looking up. Softening in here at the end. All right, then windmill the hands down. Start to frame that left foot, pick up the right heel. Then right foot steps forward into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to our breath. Noticing, what are we feeling? Where are we holding? We're going to wind down now, so committing to be fully present and the poses still to come. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Inhale, shift forward, shoulders are over your wrists. And then as slowly as we can, lowering all the way down. And untuck the toes. On your inhale, pull the heart through for cobra, baby or bigger. Exhale, fold in. On your next inhale, riding that breath, rolling up into cobra, pressing down with the toes, maybe staying here, maybe looking right, drawing the right shoulder back. And then exhale, surrendering in. On your next inhale, ride that breath, rolling up, staying with this, maybe looking left, rolling that left shoulder down. And then exhale, surrendering in. All right, setting up for locust pose. So taking your hands can either be side to side, like airplane wings, maybe angled a little bit at a 45, maybe coming behind you. Taking whatever option is calling to you. I'm going to stick them out like airplane wings, rolling the shoulder blades down and back, stretching our arms east to west. On your inhale, everything lifts. So you're lifting those hips, legs are squeezing in, arms are reaching up, then maybe you're reaching back. Going to lift a little higher and release. Coming down, forehead resting. Maybe taking your hands on top of each other, giving a place for the forehead to rest. Breathing into our back body. We're going to do 3 rounds. So if you want to do different things with the arms in each round, you're welcome to it. Or maybe doing the same every time. All right, setting up for round 2. Taking what you want with your arms. I'm going to go ahead and angle this time. Legs are squeezing in towards center. On your inhale, everything lifts. So if you're taking it, your palms are angled forward, rolling the shoulder blades down and back. Legs are squeezing in. Can we lift a little higher? And release. Maybe cradling the head with the hands. Maybe coming down on the earth. 100% relaxation between our rounds. Breathing into the back body. All right, one more round. Taking your option, maybe going for a bind behind the back and releasing the index fingers to pull backwards. That long line of energy. Legs are squeezing in towards center. On your next inhale, everything lifts. It's our last round, so can we commit? We are working, everything is lifting. One day we'll be balancing on our hips and our ribs. And release, coming back down. Breathing into our back. All right, and then preparing ourselves for one last little stretch, going into our pigeon pose. So to start, we're going to push ourselves up into tabletop and then lifting back into down dog, just as a transition pose. So settling in here on your next inhale, lifting your right leg, maybe bending the knees, stacking the hips, drawing the right knee up, drawing the right heel in towards your seat, maybe drawing some circles. We're just starting to wake up the hip joint. And as you're feeling ready, starting to make your way into pigeon pose. So squaring those hips again, drawing the right knee in towards your right elbow, then sliding down, swinging the right foot out. One day it's going to be parallel with the front of your mat, but it can be angled in as much as you need to. Then sinking our hips down. We're really trying to get our hips square. So we're driving that left hip down, sliding the right hip back, just like in our crescent poses. Checking in, you want your left leg coming straight up behind you. You can stay here. If you would like to start going further into it, lifting with the heart, walking the hands forward and coming down. If you would like to work on a quad stretch instead, you can stay lifted. This is a great place for a strap, where you're going to take a strap, start to bend that back leg, wrap the strap behind you and pull it in, or just using your hand to pull the leg in. I don't have a strap with me today. I'm kind of wishing I had it now, but that's okay. So if you're working on that quad stretch, that leg is pressing back and then your hand is pulling in. And you're trying to draw your shoulders square with the front of the mat one day. But if you are reclining down in pigeon pose, working on the hip stretch, you're trying to really softening in those hips. So I'm going to do that for a few breaths so I can show you. All right, so if we are here in pigeon pose, we're really focusing on trying to press that left hip down. That really makes me feel the stretch in the back of my right hip, right thigh. And softening in here at the end. All right, then we release, walking our hands up, starting to shift that weight onto that right hip, swing that left leg out around you, setting up for our separate leg stretching. So we're looking for 90 degrees in the hips. That foot is resting on your inner thigh. On your inhale, arms up, and exhale, folding forward, trying to grab that left foot. You can bend your knees as much as you need to get a long spine. We don't want to stretch our spine. We're stretching the back of our legs. So if you're not feeling that stretch in your leg, that's your signal to bend your knees just a little bit. And then leading with the heart, before we hinge deeper. And when you find that depth, that is where you hold, wherever you feel that sensation. And that is where you breathe. Maybe gently tucking the chin, shoulders away from the ears. We are pulling on the foot, simultaneously pressing into the hands. Really feel that whole back line of the leg engage. And softening here at the end. And release, walking yourselves back up, planting your hands in front of you, maybe using your hand to swing that left leg behind you, tuck the left toes, start to press yourself up to three-legged dog, maybe shake out that leg one more time before you come into our regular downward dog. All right, so going to balance it out on the other side, taking whatever options are calling to you. On your inhale, left leg lifts. Then we bend the knee, stack those hips. Maybe do some circles, really trying to draw the knee up, draw the heel in. Then as you're ready, start to square the hips, shift forward, left knee to left elbow, then sliding it down, swinging the left foot out. One day it'll be square with the front of the mat, but angling it in as much as you need to. I'm always a little tighter on this hip, so I am going to skip this quad stretch today and really focus on my pigeon pose. You're welcome to do either. Checking in, making sure that right leg is coming right up behind you, lifting up, growing tall, and then starting to walk your hands down. Maybe you're resting on your shoulders. This is where you're breathing. Maybe you're bringing the forehead down to the palms. Whatever option gives you the space to soften in, that's what we're looking for. But we're trying to focus the stretch. So we're drawing that left hip back, angling that right hip down, really trying to square those hips with the mat. And breathing into our back line. Softening the jaw, softening the brow, trying to release tension to really be in this pose. The more we're holding on to, the more are resisting the pose, the less benefits we're going to receive. All right, starting to walk yourself back up out of it, shifting onto your left hip, swinging that right leg around in front of you, setting up for our separate leg stretching. So looking for 90 degrees, rotating over that right leg, inhale, arms up, and exhale, folding in. So again, we don't want to round the back. We want the stretch to be in the back of our leg. So we're leading with the heart and bending the knee. Maybe doing a deep bend to start and hinging forward, then starting to straighten it and stopping when you feel that tightness. And that is how deep you go today, and that is where you breathe. Maybe lengthening a little bit, leading with the heart before we start to surrender the head. The foot is flexed. We're pressing into our hands, but we are pulling on the foot. That equal and opposite action. Maybe rolling some weight in. We want to try to keep our shoulders parallel with the earth. Breathing deeply here at the end. And release. Walking ourselves back up. Taking both legs out in front of you. One last little stretch here with both legs together. So nice straight spine, sitting up tall, bending our knees if we need to. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, folding. Trying to grab onto both feet here. Straightening our legs only as much as we still feel this stretch. Leading with the heart. Again, we're pulling on the feet. We're pressing into the hands, equal and opposites. And then when you have your depth, hold for a few breaths. And then maybe surrender and go a little bit deeper. Shoulders are down the back. Maybe closing the eyes. Noticing where are you feeling it right now. Can you send the breath to the spaces that need it most? And then maybe surrendering in here at the end. And then we release. Coming back up through center. One last little bit of core work before we make it to our final Savasana. So sitting up tall, hands out in front of us, maybe pinky spiraling in, and then as slowly as we can, start to lean back. Feel that core engage. Your heels will start to slide back with you and lower all the way down. All right, we have made it to our final Savasana. So traditionally, heels are in, feet flop out, palms are up to receive. Some days I like to do a little bit more of supported variation, taking my feet mat's width, having the knees fall in by your sides. Your hands can also be on your heart and on your belly. Just really feel each breath. Or taking whatever other variation is calling to you. This is your final resting pose. So do whatever you need to find that rest. But deep belly breaths here. And breath by breath, reassess. Where can I soften? Where am I holding? Right? Softening the fingers, softening the toes. Feeling that connection with the earth in our elbows, in our hips, in our shoulders. Softening the jaw, softening the brow. Deep breaths as you're just being in this moment. Right, if Savasana is calling to you, you're welcome to stay longer. If you'd like to be guided out, gently starting to wiggle those fingers and toes, keeping your eyes closed as long as possible to reduce that stimulation, keeping us in that meditation. And maybe starting to draw some circles at the wrists, circles at the ankles, starting to extend the arms in front of you, giving yourselves a good big morning stretch. Then gently starting to roll over to one side, giving your spine a moment to reset, come back to neutral. Then starting to push yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat, whatever that seat may be. So starting to feel supported, grounding down in the earth, but sitting up tall. Maybe hands are on your knees. Maybe hands are at heart center. Maybe they're rubbing together to bring a little stimulation, a little warmth, feeling that energy that we have cultivated in ourselves. And then coming in to a moment of stillness and gratitude for everything that we have shared on our mats today. We all benefit off of the mats. So for all of the work that you have done for yourself, I am so grateful, because I truly believe that the more time we put on the mat, the more benefits we see in all aspects of our life. So thank you, sincerely thank you for making this time for yourself. And I hope that you can hold on to that stillness and peace throughout your day. So until we meet on our mats again, I bow to you and say, Om Shanti, peace. Go in peace and do good work. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.